Hello, our dear audience, and welcome to our Tulumwi Film Festival Questions and Answers 2022 edition. I am Sandra Herlog. I'm a part of the Tulumwi team, and I will be your host for the entire season of interviews. Today, we are very honored and excited to have some of the festival winners here with us. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce our amazing guests. Welcome to the winners, Close Encounters from Mexico, Daniel Aldea.
Hi, how are you? I don't
Uh,
know, but I think I have my name here is Sylvia, is my wife's name.
yeah,
Maybe you are reading. Okay, actually, I'm not Sylvia, but it's okay. She's
you
part of
did.
the team, so there is no problem. Thank you
Okay.
very much to all of you guys, and welcome to this meeting. I'm very glad to be here. Sorry, because my English is not my first language. I'm far to be fluent in English, so I'll do
Me,
my best.
me too, and we're very
Okay.
happy to have you. And also very welcome, Cicada Time from United States. We have the director Eli Matthew Obus and the writer Kenneth Urken.
Thank
Hi.
you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for joining. And we have the Frozen Kingdom of the Snow Leopard from France. We have the director Frederic Larrey.
Hello. Really happy to be with you today and to join to all the team.
We're happy
Fantastic.
to have you.
Thanks.
Thank you. And then we have Mambo Man from Cuba. The director Fini is here today with us.
Thank you. Hello there. And I drink to all of you and to the festival. Thank you very much. Nice Chilean wine here.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers. Cheers, my dear.
Congratulations on your wins, and thank you so much for making it here. It's a great pleasure to meet you all. And we have a few questions for you, so I will just jump right in and start with the first one. So, of course, we would like to know what drove you to tell the story, how it all started. And I don't know who feels like starting. Maybe anybody?
You can choose us. You can choose us.
I choose you, Mo.
Yeah. That's bad luck. All right. They said if you don't want to fly into your mask, better keep your mouth shut. And I did so I opened my mouth first. No, I'm Anglo-Iranian, and I've been in UK most of my life and been recording music and videos in Cuba last 30 years. And during this time, I recorded over 300 CDs and made over 100 video clips. And the feature film is my first really experience or my dream, or, and imagine at being age of 70 and starting your first feature film. So you don't have to long to go. So you really got to rush, make more film every day now, because so it is really the story of my life. So hopefully, people know that being old doesn't mean you can stop. You got to rabbit run, dig another hole while you can, really. So that's what's the story of my life. Yeah.
Okay, so that was, it's like, that's why you're like, it has to have to do it now. That's why.
Yes, of course. And Mambo Man really is a story which I wrote, is about the life of a friend of mine who spent many meals with him, many dance floors and many late night in Eastern Cuba festivals till 5 a.m. And this guy got into trouble and decided I sit back and listen to him. And one day came to me. I went to Mexico. In fact, believe it or not, I was a Playa Carmen. I got out of the room in 3 hours, sat on the chair and got my pen. And in a matter of 5 hours, I wrote the script. And then that was it. And I went back to Cuba and started shooting, really, with the crew. That's as simple as that, really. Yeah.
Great, simple as that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Frederic?
Yeah. So I present the Royal Kingdom of the Snow Leopard. It was first for me a photographic experience because I'm a wildlife photographer. And for this occasion, I became a film director. So it was completely new for me, a new experience. And I was working on the wildlife in the Tibetan plateau. And for this order, they asked me to try to make some photo, and after filming the snow leopard. And it was not an easy job, of course, because it's quite hard to find the place and to find these special cryptical animals. But hopeful, I after 2 months, I discovered a special place, a special valley, where there was no hunting since 25 years, no poaching too. And it was absolutely fantastic for me because I'm a naturalist guy, and to discover a place where animals were not shy was a great opportunity. So that's why no hunting and no poaching. It offered the possibility to propose this movie.
Yeah. Wow, great. Wow. So happy that you took that and made that opportunity. Yeah, Eli or Ross.
Hi. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I'll go first.
Please, yeah.
Yeah, so if anyone's watching that's not familiar with the film, it's about these cicadas, these bugs that come around in a huge group every 17 years. And they're really loud for the summer for a couple months. And I wanted to make this film because when I was in high school, I remember them in 2004. And it was like right when I was graduating high school. And they were just really memorable because they were like so loud during the high school graduation ceremony. And I took footage of them back then. And I was remembering like, I wonder what life will be like the next time they come in 17 years, and if I'll still have this footage. And somehow I still had it on the little mini DV tape. And so I just like, things were kind of busy, but I knew I wanted to get footage of them at least. And I had to like go down south to my parents' house to actually see them. So I got all this footage of them and I was like, I don't really know what I'm going to do with it yet. But then I noticed that Ross, my friend since preschool, wrote an article about them, and maybe you can talk about that because that just added the whole element of a bigger story to it.
Totally. Yeah. It is such an event, it's Princeton University town. These bugs come out. It's a phenomenon. And I think, as Eli said, it's a curious measure of time. It's not a decade, it's not 20 years. It's almost 2 decades, and a prime number that has a lot of sort of evolutionary implications, but for the survival of the cicadas. But my connection was, I had a daughter who was 1 at the time. She's now almost 2. And I was thinking about the fact that the cicadas came out when I was 1 year old. They came out again when we were 18, about to graduate from high school and go to college. And then again when my daughter was 1. So the separation of generations, in terms of cicada time, we only had 1 brood of cicadas between us. And I was being a bit of a sad, emotional dad about thinking about the passage of time and what that meant, and the sort of coincidental coordination or synchronicity between our births. And Eli, I published this article in Scientific American, and Eli said to me, hey, I had just some stills and, a couple of mini videos of my daughter who was just starting to walk. And Eli suggested we do a visual essay, and we sort of built it out. And, we've been collaborating since we were drawing with crayons, and have, collaborated on some journalistic projects for Bloomberg and the works, often related to nature. But this was a really fun mashup, and also brought everything back, I think, to the fact that two childhood friends were then encompassing or encapsulating my daughter, you know, the next generation on stage. And I can actually hear her knocking on the door in the background.
Perfect timing. That's lovely. That's lovely. Okay,
Yes,
great.
it's my turn.
It's your turn. Yes.
Okay. What really is okay? Our movie is about sharks. Okay, and we shot them, of course, in Playa del Carmen, and we were inspired by the news, by the movies that always put the sharks like the bad guys. So we wanted to create another kind of story about them, that they are very important for our existence, even though we don't see them every day. But they are always the bad guys, and we were very angry about that. Every summer, at least here in Spain, we can watch like 10 or 12 movies about sharknadoes or shark octopus, whatever it is, mixed with a shark or thousands of flying sharks that kill people everywhere. So we wanted to tell the real story about them, that they are shy, that they are friendly, they are elegant, they are beautiful, and they are in danger. And we must provide for them. We have to take care of them because they are very, very important, and nobody cares. I mean, whales, yeah, they are beautiful. We need them. We make a lot of efforts to keep them alive, even though we can't do it. I mean, they are in danger too. But sharks, nobody cares about them, and they are very important. We just try to explain that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so my second question for you is, what challenges or obstacles you found in the making of the film, and how did you solve them?
Will I go first?
If you want to,
Might
yeah.
as well. I started first. I as well. And well, I don't know how many of you really know Cuba, and do you know the restrictions and problems and shortages and all the issues which deals with Cuba, partly because of US and Cuba problem of embargo, partly because of Cuban government self-embargo. Some it's complicated system, Cuba. Hence, shooting about 1,000 kilometers from Havana, because every film you ever seen is shot in Havana, all beautiful and sexy and music and so on. Suddenly you go outside Havana is another world. So traveling a crew of 35 people, 1,000 kilometers to the east of Havana was itself a challenge because there's no petrol, there's no buses, and the planes are full unless you are very important, which we are not. So it's all itself, transport was my main challenge, how to get the crew from Havana to Bayamo, this very location. Having succeeded one by one through different ways of sending it, taxis and buses and so on. Then we had to sort of get to Bayamo. Then, of course, accommodation is for producers the best problem, the first problem, because not enough people for 35 people, because normally is the people from the Cuban government's got priorities when they travel. So individuals do not have priority to stay in accommodation. Secondly, food was restricted. Finding bread would take you about 4 or 5 hours to queue for each person. And then, of course, when I start shooting, how do you create a rain scene, which the town has got one bombero, one fire brigade car, and you're going to beg them, can you come create artificial rain for me? And he said, what happens if there's a fire somewhere? You got the only car you got. You want it for about half a day. He said, we stop as soon as the fire is somewhere. But he said, what happens if the water runs out? He said, look, please, we pray that there was no fire, and we just go in this road and create this artificial rain. So, in an hour we're done. So all of it was really, if somebody had filmed Mambo Man, it was much more interesting, Mambo Man itself, the amount of challenges we had to go. And, we had to make a lunch scene, which had to have and we had to cook beans and pigs and so on. Of course, we couldn't find a pig or anything to cook because there was shortage of pigs in the area. Everybody, so everything we did was, of course, and in order to create even an artificial, a place like a restaurant called Paladar in Cuba. Paladar is a private restaurant which individuals are allowed to create and sell normally beans, rice, and pig's meat. roasted, and you eat on side of the road and eat it. And to create a paladar, we had to have permission from local authorities that we're going to make this one, and tomorrow we promise you will come out. It won't be any. And then we have to get, everything we had to do, have to have sort of paperwork and dozen of stamps from the government up to bottom. And then when we want the police, but the police was wonderful, and they followed us. But the most wonderful was the people of Bayamo. Everywhere we went, if we wanted a clothes for a nurse on the highway to act, we then have it. We go to a normal hospital. They give you 5 uniforms for the nurse. If you wanted a nurse to act, they give it to us. Everywhere we went, the individual people were wonderful, really. And when they knew they didn't have no food, they would even get their own daily bread, because as a foreigner, I'm not entitled to have bread every day unless I can buy it with foreign currency in a government cost. Cubans got a libreta or a little booklet that you go and queue, get bread. But for me, I had didn't see bread for 29 days, because I wasn't allowed to have bread with me. And of course, I couldn't get bread, couldn't buy bread. So it's all of it's a really challenge, was wonderful. But really, and as all of you film producer directors, any issue without any challenge is not an issue, really. Life is about challenges, life about succumbing and overcoming all the problems you have in the road. And that makes life more interesting, really. That's why, that was my challenges to make Mambo Man, really. So.
Oh, nice. And I guess you also adapt to the challenges, right? So the project might have been changing a little bit due to all the challenges. You have to adjust, you have to adapt, and in the end of the day, that might be beneficial to the story.
Of course. And I remember one scene which I wrote the script, was the first screen was when everything happens because of a shortage of rain. And after 3 months, the day we start shooting the farm, and suddenly clouds come along. What do you do? And we sit there and change the script now. And the guy said, sometimes it rains, sometimes cloudy. So we had to change as we go along. We had to change the script as we're going to shoot every day, because weather would change, the situation would change. We are not, So we have limited income, to limited amount of money to produce a film. So we had to sort of make some balance every day, and that's what itself is really another challenge, really. So changing the script on a daily basis.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mo. Thank you. Frederic?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Sandra, but can you repeat the question, because I'm not sure.
Yeah, so what kind of challenges or obstacles did you find in the making of this film, and in what way did you solve them?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So in Himalaya and Tibetan Plateau, we are very high. It's more than 4,000 meters, around 5,000 meters sometimes. So we have to climb and to carry a lot of material. 25 kilos, for example, with tripods, teleobjective and everything, some food, some clothes to take care with the very changing conditions. Sometimes you have good sun, but 10 minutes after it's snowing, and everything became white, and you are in dangerous mountains and you have to downslide. So I need to be well prepared. And the poor oxygen is the problem for the body of the team, of course, because it's like you do free diving. You walk, and after you have no oxygen, so you have to stop to breathe, and you can walk again. It's really similar than free diving. That's fun. And so the conditions were changing every time, but after the snow, because there is some strong sun in high altitude, sometimes 1 hour after, the snow is gone. So the landscape were changing in all the springs, the autumn, or in winter it's more, of course, snowy. So we need very good clothes. And another thing is that we were working with local people. They are herders, they have yaks. And the people, they invite us to their home. So it was really interesting to share some times with them and to sleep in their house. They are very lovely people. And so the difference was that in the field, we spend most of the time outside. So in cold conditions. And the local people, they go out of the home, but 2 hours before they go at home and have warm. So after 1 month, I lose 5 kilos and I'm not very fat, as you can see. And after 1 month, I was cow and it's time to go to home. So I spent 6 months in this field, but in different travels to support better the conditions. And the other problem that we have was the authorization, because I come from France and I don't speak Chinese, I don't speak Tibetan language. So it was quite fun to try to find a way to have authorization to make a movie. And we speak in French, in English, in Chinese, in Tibetan, and with our hands. And with our hands, it was really efficient to speak with local people. Because we always speak about the same things: eating, find snow leopard, or climbing, or everything. So, and the last thing was that sometimes and the first times we arrived in the valley where it was a natural reserve, but there was poaching, and we discovered that because we have camera and so we, for the local people, they were afraid that we were like spy with our camera. And I discovered that when I show some animals, local people look with the telescope, and after they try to organize hunting. So we have to decide to change the place, but hopefully, as I say, it was good news because we find a very special place and a good example of conservation.
So because of that, you changed location.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it ended up being a really good thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Great. Thank you. Yeah. Eli or Ross?
Maybe Eli, you should start, because you probably the onus of the work fell on you in kind of putting the shots together.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't like a normal film, I feel like, because it kind of came together in pieces. And I think the hardest part was actually just fitting it into our schedules, because we both had day jobs. So like I went down there, I went to my parents' house and like walked around and shot these insects for, all the footage was over 2 days of shooting. And the hard part was just shooting these tiny little insects, and they were crawling around getting good shots. But I actually think I had practice because my day job is shooting jewelry, like video for shooting tiny little like diamonds and stuff. So that helped. And I borrowed a couple macro lenses from work. Yeah, but then like we shot it and sorry, say again.
They don't get like scared when you get close and move. They are not sensitive to you being close to them.
Not too much. They're weird insects because they basically sleep for 17 years and then they come out. So they're kind of like groggy, like zombie insects. And they don't have the best reflexes, but they survive because there are so many of them that even if there are predators, the predators can't eat all of them at once because there are so many. So that made it easier to find them. They're everywhere. Like I was walking around getting hit by them as I was walking. But yeah, then it was just hard. The only other hard thing was like scheduling and like doing our voiceover. Like it took a while just to get it done, especially during COVID. And that was pretty much it. I don't know if you have any.
Yeah, I would say definitely, getting the right shots of these and assembling it into a logical and meaningful narrative, sort of in post, because we didn't do any we didn't have a preconceived notion of the actual script in advance. But I do think that, I'm a a writer of articles and, you know, a book, and writing a script is a very different animal for me, and trying to pare it down in a way that would translate over a voiceover was interesting. And, you know, I did the Spanish translation for the subtitles, and that was a challenge because I lived in Mexico and I was 19 and haven't spoken much Spanish since. But I also think that what Eli and I had going is a bit of music and lyrics, where, you know, the script being the lyrics, and then Eli would pair certain words with the shots. You know, if the bug is flung out, or shot of the bug on the sidewalk. And I think a lot of those nuances were the challenges. You know, we did not face the Himalayan altitude or government restrictions, but some of these artistic and time challenges were what we faced. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I love to hear all those different challenges. Thank you for sharing. Danielle, what was your challenges?
Okay, I have just one, but big one, because the presence of the sharks in Playa del Carmen is seasonal. So they stay from November to February. We knew that, and we planned all our shooting, all our team, only 4 people, but that's a lot to plan. And we travel there by January or something. And when we arrive, our host guy, Pepe Esteban, very well known over there, told us, Donnie, you are not going to believe me, but they are gone. What are you talking about? I said, yeah, they're gone. Some bunch of boats were, how do you call, dredging the bottom of the ocean to get sand to rebuild all the beaches from Playa del Carmen, because they were gone because of the storms, and the sound of the vessels make all the shark to go away. So we couldn't shoot that year. We stayed, have fun, get sun, get drunk, and go back home. And we couldn't shoot until the next year. Yeah.
Wow, 1 year. 1 year.
1 year. Yes. And we were planning like 2 years before that. We were like, at the beginning, it was very, very sad. But we came out with another kind of documentary. We took advantage of the situation, and we shot another documentary about a very famous cenote called Angelita. That is very beautiful, and it was good.
Great, like all those challenges happening, and all those great films coming out. That's the time is flying here, but of course we would like to know if you have any next projects coming up. What is going on? What's happening? What can we wait or expect to see in a close future? Mo, you want to start again?
Right, sorry. Okay. Yes, my next project is a documentary on a Black singer-songwriter called Cándido Fabre in Cuba. And it's a fascinating story of his life. He's a big artist, and it's very, very good. Cándido Fabre is worldwide known artist, and basically his life is fascinating. So I'm at the moment writing the script on his life, and hopefully in November I'm going to put locations, search, and so on and so on. And then I got another feature film, which I'm planning in 2 years' time, that is. And all depends. For the first one, I had to sell a flat to subsidize financially that. And now I got to think what I can sell next to finance my second and third projects. You know? So it is all fascinating. I'm very happy, you know, sort of, you know. And in fact, you know, it is all about challenges, really. So as one of your colleagues was saying that about the altitude problems and the other problem, you all have challenges in life, you know. And so hopefully I'll survive to tell stories again and see you again on screen, you know. That's my really new project.
Yes, I would love that for the next Q&A. next year, 2023 edition. We have you here again with a new
Fantastic.
project.
And I drink to that and to all of you.
Yes. Great, thank you. I go in the same order. I'm sorry. I hope you're fine with that, Frederic.
Okay. That project was a so nice experience with the snow leopard. I spent many times in high mountains, in wild place, and I discover nice people, because what the surprise was that the herders were the protector of the wildlife and the predators. And so for me, who live in Europa, in France, I have a lot of experience about the problem with the predator and the people. They sometimes didn't realize that it's possible to live with the predator and to accept, and it will be positive to live in a wild place and share the space with animals. So I would like to keep this experience as a testimony to say to my compatriots that it's possible. We are not Tibetan, we are French, we are European, but at the end we are human and we are animals, and we can find a way to live with other wildlife and plants. And so my new project is to work on the rewilding in Europe, rewilding of big animals, a megafaune, as I see in Tibet. After 25 years, there was snow leopard, wolf, bears, lynx, common leopard, and they were living close from the farms. And the people, they were eating some meat of yak, but less than the predators. And the people, they accept that they can share the food, and they can share the pasture. So it was interesting, and I would like to think that some people can make some place in their body, in their head, to share the pasture in Europa, and to accept to live and to have this positive sharing of the country. What is different, I think, is that in the sea, because I like to make some photo and video in the sea, there is very big animals in Mediterranean Sea, like a sperm whale, fin whale, dolphins, and big turtles, and manta ray. But in a terrestrial ecosystem, we lose a lot of species. And I hope that we can now living with bison and with bears, and it's possible because I travel in different countries in Europe, and I see that some people, they accept to live. So that's my new project.
That's exciting. That's exciting. I can't wait to hear more about it.
Sorry.
Well, Ross, do you have something coming up?
Well, after we made this movie, have thought about, we sort of had a brainstorm session, and maybe Eli, you should talk about the first idea, and then I'll try to tease some of the others. But we really had, I think this short film was labor intensive, but it was relatively contained, and I think we want to go bigger and badder this next time. So
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we had a few ideas. I don't know what we should list. You talking about the Greenland?
Yeah. I think one idea is sort of without going into too much detail, chronicles of exploration and Inuit life in Greenland, up north toward the North Pole. I think both of us are particularly interested in climate change, and I was actually in the Maldives for a story in December, and we do have that's very much a written article, but I do think we have half a mind to explore it in a visual way on film. Yeah.
So you're gonna keep working and doing stuff together.
Yeah. We
expect more projects from the two of you.
Yeah, we have a good thing going. But I'll say I went out to New Jersey. We live kind of right across the Hudson River from each other. I'm in Manhattan, and I got a drone lesson from Eli, who's a really cinematic genius when it comes to drone footage. There wasn't any, I don't think, in Cicada Time. There maybe limited. Yeah, but in other projects in the past, we've used drones, and so I got as a technophobe and as a writer and not a visual artist, I got my feet wet in the process. So it's exciting, and maybe Eli will script write some, and we'll flip. But I think we might stay in our own our sides of the playing field.
Yeah, great. Thank you. And Daniel, what's next for you?
I wish I knew. I don't really know. I mean, the COVID screwed everything up, so all our plans are in the air. I don't know, but the plan I am thinking about more. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, is about black waters. For those who don't know about this, it's just you put lights in the middle of the ocean, and a lot of tiny little animals you have never seen come to the light, and you shoot them, but they are like millimeters. And we would like to shoot that in the Philippines and make the connection, talk about the problem that the microplastic have with these tiny animals. But it's a big project because we need very special equipment. We need to bring some biologists with us and make some experiment with them, with the little tiny bugs. Their living or the population, and of course it has a lot of problems behind that, because these are the first guys in the food chain. So if they are contaminated, we are in a big problem. Yeah, but I don't know if we are going to be able to do it. We will try. They just opened the doors in Philippines, so it's too soon to know if we are going to achieve that goal. Maybe I wish I could.
Okay, too soon, but we'll will.
Yeah, we'll try.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So time went really fast. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your films and your experience. It was a pleasure meeting you all. So thank you. And thank you to our audience for joining us today. For more information about the program and all those films, please check out our website. Greetings from Tulum Film Festival, and see you soon again for the next Q&A sessions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Nice to see you.
Bye. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.